Record to the cloud.
Great. Okay, here we go, live. Welcome, welcome. Let's go ahead and welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome everybody. It's so good to see you. I'm looking forward to you turning on your cameras and be able to see your beautiful shining faces.
Morning.
Oh my gosh, good morning. It's so good to see you guys. Wow. Hello, Ariana. Hello, Katie. Hello, Larry. It's so good to see you. Oh my gosh. And Connie is here. And oh my gosh, it's so great to see you. Well, wonderful. I'm going to quickly do a little share screen, and Carol is going to do a disclaimer.
Good morning. Today is November the 19th, 2023. This is the Ancient Secrets Global Community Call, which comes together in order to share information from Dr. Clint G. Rogers' book, Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer. There's a lot of information that we'll share today, and it's intended for educational purposes, not to diagnose or treat anything. So we welcome you today. We're so excited that you're here. And we have some announcements coming on you want to make sure to stay tuned for. And if you're new today, please put in the chat that you're new. How did you hear about us and where are you from? Thanks so much.
Awesome. Well, great. We've got a very special guest here, which we love so dearly. We've got Gary here, and he's just got a few minutes. And so we're going to go ahead and move from our head to our heart with Gary. Gary, it's your... Good morning, Gary. And good day, wherever you are. Good moment.
Hello, everybody. Wow, I'm right off the bat, aren't I? Thank you. You know, you guys, I am so happy to be here whenever I get an invitation, no matter what's going on in my life. And what's going on in my life is I'm getting rid of 80% of all my possessions. And yesterday I was in the thick of it. And something that someone said to me a few days ago as I was letting go of everything said something really profound to me, because I think you guys have heard over the years that I've been challenged by my starting my new company and monetizing and all that. And someone said, well, I'm never willing to let negative thinking about myself or anything else interfere in my inner peace. And you know how like when you hear something for the first time, or like you hear it and you finally really hear it, something hit me when I went, inner peace is my highest currency. That is the currency that matters. And it just was so revelatory when I realized that I had bought into the system of thinking that my inner peace will come when everything's together and when I have my bank account all set up and I got all the money I need and all that. And then I realized, no, the a priori is my inner peace is my highest currency. Carol and Dana, I mean, that all of a sudden I run, you know what? I'm alive. I'm here. I am celebrating the value that my inner peace has, which everything comes from. So I want to share a couple of things that this first video is very famous. It's actually over 50 million cumulative views. I remember the famous award-winning cinematographer, Louis Schwartzberg, who loves my Graceful Passages work, called me and said, do you have anything that's not about death and dying? And I went, well, in fact, I do. This was 2007, and I had pursued Brother David Steindl-Rast, who's known as the godfather of gratefulness. And I asked in the studio, just speak to us about what gratitude means to you. And out of the hour, I edited it down to 5 minutes, which is what I did for all the Graceful Passages recording. And then in an afternoon, I set it to a simple musical track, not even thinking anyone would hear it. I just wanted to set Brother David to music. And then a few years later, Louis says, what do you have that's not about death and dying? And so I sent this to him, this audio track of spoken word and music. And next minute I know, in 2010, he's doing a TED Talk that goes viral, that hits about 10 million. And he takes this piece only and puts it on the internet. And now it's over 50 million cumulative views. It's pretty remarkable. And it set up a whole world of, he created a product with Brother David. He set up a gratitude program. It's amazing sometimes the things that fly. So enough about me. I'd like us all, as we always do, if those of you who are new to my work, all of what I'm about was what I call alchemical wisdom, finding a way to alchemize wisdom. And really all that is making it easier for you to hear wisdom, not just with your ears and your mind, but with your heart and your soul as well. If your heart and soul had ears, what would it feel like? That's what this is about. So the first thing I'm sharing today, thank you, Jana and Carol, for letting me share these two works. The first one is this wisdom film it's called A Good Day or Gratitude, and I'm going to share this. And in the form of entertainment, not entertainment, let yourselves, don't get seduced by the visuals. Let the visuals be supportive of the audio. Now, how do you do that? Keep on breathing, feel the feet under the ground. Feet on the ground, the ground under your feet. How do you put your feet under your ground? Oh my God. All right. And you allow yourself to be multidimensionally present.
Yeah.
We're so used to watching things and going numb and unconscious. We're couch potato trained, right? So in the realm of entertainment, ask yourself to be fully present, body, mind, heart, spirit, and soul. And let's experience together this video as if it was the fire, that we're all having hands around the fire together. Let's watch this and let it change us. Let us feel the gratitude for every little thing in this week that's coming up for Thanksgiving. And after that, we'll have a celebratory song. And I'm just so grateful to be able to share this with you guys. You guys are my family, and I'm so grateful. And I'm about to be home free for the next 3 months to try out what it's like to be here and call this home. And I'm really excited how it's going to change me. And I'm excited rather than fearful. I'm finally excited rather than fearful. All right, anyway, let's take a breath first. Let's ready ourselves. Close your eyes for a minute. Let's take 3 long breaths and breathe in for 4 or 5, hold it for 4 or 5, and then exhale for 6 or 7. Here we go. Oh, doesn't that feel good? Let's do that again. Oh my God, I feel different already. One more time. Hold it longer. And a long exhale. Let's receive this video and let it change us. Let it touch us. Here we go. Even if we've seen it before.
You think this is just another day in your life? It's not just another day. It's the one day that is given to you today. It's given to you. It's a gift. It's the only gift that you have right now, and the only appropriate response is gratefulness. If you do nothing else but to cultivate that response to the great gift that this unique day is, if you learn to respond as if it were the first day in your life and the very last day, then you will have spent this day very well. begin by opening your eyes and be surprised that you have eyes you can open. That incredible array of colors that is constantly offered to us for pure enjoyment. Look at the sky. We so rarely look at the sky. We so rarely note how different it is from moment to moment with clouds coming and going. We just think of the weather. And even of the weather, we don't think of all the many nuances of weather. We just think of good weather and bad weather. This day, right now, has unique weather. Maybe a kind that will never exactly in that form come again. The formation of clouds in the sky will never be the same that is right now. Open your eyes, look at that. Look at the faces of people whom you meet. Each one has an incredible story behind their face. A story that you could never fully fathom. Not only their own story, but the story of their ancestors. We all go back so far. And in this present moment, on this day, all the people you meet, all that life from generations and from so many places all over the world flows together and meets you here like a life-giving water if you only open your heart and drink. Open your heart to the incredible gifts that civilization gives to us. You flip a switch and there is electric light. You turn a faucet and there is warm water and cold water and drinkable water. It's a gift that millions and millions in the world will never experience. So these are just a few of an enormous number of gifts to which we can open your heart. And so I wish you that you will open your heart to all these blessings and let them flow through you. That everyone whom you will meet on this day will be blessed by you. Just by your eyes, by your smile, by your touch, just by your presence. Let the gratefulness overflow into blessing all around you. And then it will really be a good day.
I love, that's the first time I've seen that from beginning to end in entirety. It's so, it warms my heart because in the context of these days of the barbarism and the hostile aggression and all the things we're witness, to actually realize that the gratitude we feel actually generates a wave of energy that helps the world and helps our world and helps ourselves. And just chime in on the chat if you would about anything that you're grateful for right now before we begin this last song this last offering that I'm going to be sharing. But I'd love to just see just how you responded or anything at all.
Yeah.
And if
Gary,
anyone wants to share anything before I share this song, just about, what is overflowing in you about what you are grateful for before I go on. May I take the time for that, Jana?
Yes, please. Yes, please. I just have to say, this is one of my very, very favorite songs that you have done, Gary. It's absolutely incredible. I always get tears in my eyes and my heart is just blown wide open. So thank you for sharing this beautiful, beautiful creation of yours. It's beautiful. And I would love to hear from everybody what is in your heart. You know, I loved how Gary said, you know, let this video change you. How are you changed in this by watching this? And, you know, for me, I loved that in there it says, you know, just by being you, you know, you will touch others, you know, just by your smile, your eyes, you know, just by being you can make such a huge difference. So wonderful. Who would like to share? It looks like we've got Karen Kellogg. Would you like to share for a second?
Karen, hi, honey.
I had the most wonderful weekend with friends. So I put in my part of it was my friends. We danced, we listened to music. We went to a nightclub Friday night and Saturday night by the same artist. I worked out in the yard yesterday with a college student who's a good friend. It's nice to have somebody younger as a friend. And it's sunny right now. So I went out and just breathed the fresh air, walked around a little bit. And my good friend Christina is coming over in a little bit. And Gary's creativity, every time he's on, I really enjoy all of the things that he does. So thank you, Gary.
And Karen, you know, I was going through all these letters and stuff, and I found this letter you sent me thanking me, it was so beautiful, and it's amazing how, you know, what a little letter, snail mail can do, and I saved it, and there it was, your beautiful sentiment and appreciation, and it lasts a long time. So happy to see you, dear.
Thank you. I'm glad for that.
Yeah, yeah. Time for one or
Randy,
two more. Is that true, Jana?
yes, Randy, would you mind coming off mute? I know that you said that you are grateful for life in the chat, but I'd love to hear from you.
Well, you know, I'm at a different level now than I was, say, 6 months ago. My life is certainly working out for me. I've come from that trough of, not depression, but trough of life where life is ups and downs. And I seemed to be down for quite a while, but I'm on that hill going upwards, and it seems to be getting better and better every day. And Gary, that was a really nice flick that you went through. The videos on it were good pictures. But you know, I'm grateful every day for just life, breath, health, and I say that to myself, and I'm grateful for myself for hanging in there and pursuing my dreams, and they're finally coming true, I guess, is where I'm at. And you know, just thankful every day and blessing everything. And I don't know how many people do this, but I bless everything I eat, everything I do, everything that comes to me. I bless myself with abundance, with happiness, harmony. That's what my life is about right now. So yeah, I can say that life is treating me well right now, and it gives me the opportunity of helping other people. That's what money does in your life. For me, anyways. I always used to have to offer my services, but now I can help people out with money problems and things like this. So for me, yeah, this is a pinnacle part of my life, for sure.
Thank you so much. I just thank you. Your words are so profound. And I love how
that's profound for me that I'm profound, but
well, it's awesome. I
somebody
mean,
finds me
to
proud.
bless every single thing, to bless your food. I mean, how many of us do that? I don't think I do that. I don't bless my drive to work. I don't bless the telephone call that I'm going to be getting. I don't bless, you know, my food every single day. That's a beautiful commitment. I love that. It's a beautiful ritual. So thank you. That really can bring a lot of joy and gratitude into your life.
Well, just an add-on to that, if because everybody is in the energy type thought pattern these days, is I believe it creates that energy around you, where like energy attracts like energy, and
Absolutely, yes.
it creates, the more you can be thankful, the more you can be grateful. Grateful is the biggest one, but and bless things. Those come rebounding back to you fairly quickly. It's so.
That's wonderful. Gary, are you ready to thank
I
you?
am, and I just wanted to actually share big news for me. My ally and friend Adam Gaskill has an organization called the nonprofitcreators.com, and he expedited and accelerated the process. And for my last 20 years, I've been hoping that I would create a nonprofit that based on supporting the evolution of a company that would create wisdom in the way that you just heard. And I'm proud to say that my new baby has been born. I received my articles of incorporation for a new nonprofit that I just created called the Global Wisdom Foundation. And I'm just so excited. And I don't have the website yet, but if you guys want and believe in the idea of wisdom being delivered in a way that helps people listen to the wisdom and see it in this visceral way that you know that I do, let me know and I'll send you the temporary Venmo that it's going to go to. But it's mostly just wanted to celebrate the birth of this new foundation that I've created, and I'm excited about it. So in the spirit of that, I'm sharing this song, and there's a line from this song that I've sung all over the world. And if things fall apart and I barely survive, I am grateful just for being alive. And, I'm in the process of dissolving. My caterpillar cells are being replaced by imaginal cells. But in the middle of the dissolution, it feels like a death. Well, it is a death. Here's the deal. It is a death. It's an ego death of that which is ready to die. So if there's something going on in your life that is actually falling apart, remember, one door closes and another window opens. There is no way that something's falling apart cannot be replaced by something that's being born. So remember that, Gary. Remember that. All right, here. So this is a song. Please sing along if you can catch on to the words. And this is I Am Grateful. I wrote this song a long time ago and I sing it everywhere. And I'm so grateful for this community. Just means a lot when you think about something you're grateful for, when something like this goes on, because prayers sung are prayers with wings. So here we go. I'm going to share this song. And it's a really rough demo. I just sat out and recorded it on my home little keyboard, but it's better than nothing. Here we go. It's the sentiment that matters, right? Here we go. I am grateful. You can for the skies up above. Go around on Spotlight. I am grateful for the miracle of love. And if things fall apart and I barely survive, I am grateful just to be alive. I am grateful for the skies up above. I am grateful for the miracle of love. And if things fall apart and I barely survive, I am grateful just to be alive. Sitting on the porch thinking about my problems, wondering what to do. Bills to pay, aches and pains, broken hearts, sleepless nights. But a ray of light shone through the clouds as if to say, this is a brand new day. A brand new day. Whoa, whoa, I am grateful for the skies up above. I am grateful for the miracle of love. And if things fall fall apart and I barely survive. I am grateful just to be alive. I am grateful just to be alive. I am grateful just to be alive. I am grateful just to be. What are you grateful for? In the chat. What are you grateful for? Just to be alive. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hallelujah. Thank you, you guys. Have a beautiful call. I'm going to be on for a little bit more because I love you guys. I just in the middle of packing and moving, but I'm grateful to have been able to share this with you, you guys. Thank you.
Oh, Gary, there's so much things that are in the chat. You should read them really quickly before you go. It's so
And Gary, also, would you put in the chat how people can use the beautiful wisdom cards for sending a gratitude message to people that they love? Can you put that website in? Because I love that process.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they still work. I think they need to be repaired, but I'll do that. And also, if you guys are interested, I'll also send the Venmo if you guys are interested in donating to the nonprofit. But I don't want to pitch for that. I just wanted you to know wisdomoftheworld.com has a wisdom cards function where you could send a loving message to somebody, and it's really cool. I'm hoping it'll work because I think it needs to be repaired. But check it out, wisdomoftheworld.com. And you can find the gratitude video just by clicking on Google, and it's in gratitude. What is it called? Moving art. Gratitude moving art. That's where it can be found. I love you, and I'm with you.
I love you, and I'm with you too, Gary. Thank you so much. Carol, while you are right here and we're just in this beautiful space, if you can lovingly just share some of the things that are coming up, and I'm going to do the shared screen on the medical disclaimer one more time, just because the Facebook Live was not on when that happened. So Carol, would you mind explaining that one more time?
Sure. That we just reminding people that the content, the information here, sometimes we talk about things that healings that people have had and things that have gone really well for them, but this is not intended to diagnose or treat any emotional or physical condition. This is for educational purposes, and we also have more details on the disclaimer in the book Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer. And while I'm here, can I go ahead and do announcements?
Yes, please.
Yes, because there's a special BOGO, buy one, get one, for our upcoming programs at the first of the year. And we're starting off with a big bang. The delicious 7-day detox starts January the 2nd. And it's an easy one. Most of us have done some form of a detox, but I think this one is really, really easy and so beneficial. So that starts on the 2nd. And now you're invited to get 2 for the price of 1 if you do so pretty quickly. And then the next thing is the Ancient Secrets 101. And this is a new program that we started out because we had so many new people joining after Sedona, and we wanted to give them the background and kind of the fundamentals of what Ancient Secrets is about, what Siddha Veda is, and about the lineage of Master Jivaka and those kinds of things. And so that course starts in January 11th. It's the second time we'll have offered that. And then the 100-day course, if you remember, Dr. Naram went for training, and I see Gary on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and spotlight myself. So the 101 is the basic one, and then the second one is the 100 days that Cornelia is the primary for that. Am I unmuted now? And so that starts February. And then the third thing that we have is a practitioner program that we're taking registration for in 2024. So if you're interested in any of those programs, we invite you to take advantage of the buy one, get one free offer. And all of that is in the newsletter. and hopefully you'll be able to take advantage of these discounts that are available just for you. So thanks so very much for the time.
Girl, while you're here, tell us what you're grateful for.
Oh my gosh. For this community that gives me support and tools to work through some really, really difficult times. I have a daughter who's been disabled since 2002, and the past few months have been really, really bad for her. And she went into hospice the day I left for Japan, which was really horrible timing for me. And so it's been 2 months now, and we've had some, the phases. She'll be, can sleep for 23 hours, and it's a frightening time for a mom and
Could we
to
all could
see
we
the
all
pain.
hold space for Carol and her daughter in this scenario for her whole family right now, and just
Thank you.
vibrate and love through our hands, our hearts, our souls, and let's just be 1,000% present in surrounding them with love. I'll let you take the baton, Gina.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you. We're so grateful for you and for all that you do for us in the midst of all that's going on in your life. I also just want to send out a special love to Mindy, who is part of our community as well. Her mother is passing. So let's do another blast of love for all the people that are going through challenging times right now, and just send them as much love as we can. Wrap them in that light, that beautiful care that comes so naturally from this community. Thank you. We love Mindy. We love her family and all that she's done for this community. Thank you. We're so excited to be able to have Levi from our community share his incredible story. And Levi, if you'll come off mute and say hello.
Hi guys. Hello everybody.
Levi shared his story before, but he's got some some more things that he would like to add to it, and we're just so excited. And then after that, we're going to hear from Shipra. So Levi, go ahead.
Awesome. Yeah. Dr. Clint asked me to come and share one of my gratitude stories right before Thanksgiving as we're moving in. And I just I really love this community, and I love being able to show up here and share my light and to see other people's light. And Gary, I thank you for the music. That was really amazing, and putting this in that. But my story goes, and it was a story I was able to share to Dr. Clint when I met him during a martial arts training, Viber Vision, where we were opening our brains to see without our eyes. But it's the story that led me back to the love of my life. And there's very specifics in this because for a lot of you guys who don't know, my name's Levi. I was actually born and raised in Utah, up in northern Utah, and actually a small town. I'm actually from a really small town. And I came from a really loving family. And to move forward really quickly, I was a really curious kid. You know, I didn't come from a disruptive family or environment. And so I was really curious about life. I wanted to see what the world was about. And that curiosity, you know, they say curiosity kills the cat, right? You know, and so it led me down a path. And I think being as full as love as I was as a child, I was also full of fear that I wouldn't be loved by the world. And that translated into, as a child, into confusion and anger and rebellion. And that led me into a path where I was taken away from my family. I was put into a foster care at about 12 years old. And I was a delinquent youth. So they couldn't contain me. And that led me down a path of anger. And soon enough, at the age of 23, I wake up one morning and I'm in United States Penitentiary, Victorville, California, which is a high maximum security penitentiary in Southern California. And I was a certified gang member, and I was in a very, very violent and negative world at that time. And I remember watching someone's life almost get taken. And this is in front of security. This is in front of the police. This is these people, was raw, brutal violence with no regard to anybody watching, like just did not care. These guys had already lost their lives and were serving their lives. And it was a very violent place. And I remember in this moment, I woke up and I said, what? This is not like, this isn't what I signed up for in my life, you know? And I remember telling myself, if I can make it out of here alive, I'm going to change my life. I'm going to change my life forever. And I'm going to make an impact. That was my goal, at least. And, but sure enough, you know, as I got out of prison, I found myself, struggling with just trying to maintain my life. You know, that the system wasn't set up for people coming out of prison. It's like a revolving door. We've all heard it in the past, and it really is set up like that. It wasn't set up for me to succeed. And soon enough, I found myself on the streets. And the reason why I was on the streets, I want to make this clear, because I went homeless. I had a 1986 Cadillac Fleetwood that I bought from a guy. It had 120,000 miles on it. And I bought it for $600 because it didn't work. It had a short in the wire. And when I fixed it, the car never broke down. But this was my home for a minute. And I was strong. You know, I was determined to make it. But as every day passed, it got harder and harder. And when you're alone, like life starts to like weigh on you a little bit, because you're like, yo, when is the storm going to break, you know? And I remember one day as I was coming back from doing a tattoo, and luckily I could tattoo. And so as a felon, it was really hard. It was really hard for me to get a job and sustain a job without being like put at the very bottom of the totem pole and being belittled all the way through, and having so much ego and so much anger and having so much PTSD, if you'd call it. I was really defensive towards the world. I couldn't snap out of it. And that's why I went homeless, because my ego, I didn't want to. I became ashamed of who I was, because my family raised me better than this. And I was ashamed that I let my family down. I was ashamed that I hurt my mom, my dad. And so I didn't want to ask for help. I did not want to ask for help anymore. And I was like, I just got to figure this out. I got to figure this out. And so I was out on the street. I just didn't want to, I didn't contact anybody. I didn't want no one to know my position. I was ashamed. I was embarrassed. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make this happen. And I just remember one day I was in my car and I was going to find a spot to park, to sleep. And it was in an abandoned restaurant. And I was pulling into this parking lot. I noticed a homeless guy holding a sign, and I got stalled behind another car, and it made me look at him. The guy just stared at me, hoping I'd give him something, not knowing that I was not too far from his position, possibly. And I remember just catching eyes with him. And for the first time, I saw myself in this guy's eyes. And it struck my heart so hard, because I knew that if I was not far away from holding a sign per se. I refused to hold the sign, but I knew that if I had just made the exact same choices that man had made, I would be in the exact same position. And I reverted back as I pulled back into the parking lot to like who I was as a child and what I wanted as a child. And wasn't what I wanted. You know, I didn't write this story. I was like, dude, I was supposed to be all these wonderful things in life. I mean, how am I homeless in California, Northern California, sleeping in my car and ashamed of it? Like I was like on secret status. I didn't want no one to know. I was embarrassed. And I remember scenario playing in this moment, like how I could take my life. And I remember scenario playing like a cop coming into the parking lot, seeing my car there, and then telling me I need to leave because I'm not allowed to park there. And then me getting out in a rage and him having to gun me down. And I'd be like, that would be the best way for me to go out, because I couldn't kill myself, because I couldn't kill myself, but I wanted to die. I didn't want to live the same story every day. And in this moment that I was scenario playing, you know, luckily through the moments of the times that I was in the penitentiary, I've always been on personal development. I always wanted to do and bring some type of light to the world. I've always wanted that. And I think I just had this rebellious nature, and I had this like, I had to find out my own way. I was confused. And I remember reading a book, and it was by a guy named Tony Robbins, and he talked about the different mindsets of individuals. And he talked about a victim mindset. This one stuck out to me specifically because I never wanted to be a victim. I always felt that I was strong enough not to be a victim, but sometimes our point of view is very victimized, and we don't know it. You know, we're so attuned to our point of view that we think we're right. And I didn't realize that my point of view at that time was full of victimization. Everything had been happening to me. People hating me, my dad, abused me, or and all these people betrayed me, and people I thought loved me turned their backs on me, and I didn't. My point of view was I wasn't worthy enough for the world anymore, and in this moment that I was scenario playing a cop possibly coming to kill me, or how this would go down, that popped into my head, and I said, "Whoa!" Dude, holy crap, if I died by a cop, I would be a victim of a cop. And coming from prison and coming from that line of life, no one wants to be a victim of a cop. Like, we're so victimized by law and all these things. And this is like the rotation of the mind. And I was like, I don't want to be a victim of a cop. And I remember the book that I was reading, I was like, they talked about a victim mindset, that if you were to ask someone who is in a victim mindset what they are grateful for, it will literally, they might get offended. Like, how dare you ask me what I'm grateful for? I'm a victim, and it's just, it doesn't correlate. Being a victim and being in gratitude does not correlate together. I just remembered a song from my childhood that talked about gratitude, and it was, count your many blessings, name them one by one. And no one ever really taught me the power of that. Even though I heard that song as a child, no adult ever actually taught me the power of gratitude and writing down your here's a gratitude journal and write down what you're grateful for. And in this darkness, I said, I knew I had nothing to be grateful for. I was like, oh my gosh, my mind is so one-sided. Because if you ask me what is bothering me in my life or what went wrong in my life, I could easily tell you all my problems. Like, I could tell you with so much passion that you would be like, oh my God, you would give me a standing ovation. But if you asked me what I was grateful for in that moment, I had nothing to say. I literally had to make it up. I had to, there was no emotion, and it definitely wasn't with the same amount of passion that I could tell you all my problems with. And in that moment, which I'm so grateful that I did, I took that moment and I realized how unbalanced my life was. And so in that moment, I made a decision to pull out a piece of paper and write what I was grateful for, and try with all I had to do in the same nature that I had just been crying and tripping and doing the scenario playing of the cop coming in there and how I would react to him and everything. And man, it was so hard to do. I pulled out this piece of paper and I started to write. And I remember that, and not only did I write what I was grateful for, is why I was grateful for it, because this sparks the emotion. And it was only a couple things. One was my car. I was really grateful for my car because it started to rain, and my car had never broke down on me. And I'm such a child in the way I talk to things. And I used to tell my car how it was my best friend because it never broke down and it was always reliable. I used to talk to my car like this. As silly as it is, when you're by yourself, you start to develop friends from other things, I guess, And I wrote that down, and I wrote down that I was grateful that I still had clothes, and I had the ability to tattoo, and that I can make money for myself, and that I could take care of myself. And I wrote down that I could smile, that I still had a beautiful smile, because a lot of homeless people, and their teeth, I just, especially out there in the transient world, I noticed people were missing their teeth all the time, and I never wanted that for me. And I remember that I cried myself to sleep that night, and I cried with a different cry this time. It wasn't one in pain and hate for my life. It was in relief, And I remember that next morning when I woke up, the first thing that I noticed was a sunbeam coming through the window because the storm had cracked during the night. And I could see dust particles moving through it. And in that, all I could hear were birds chirping. And this was the first moment that I realized that my mind was completely still. You see, up until this point, every day I woke up, I dreaded life. I woke up with a continuous scenario and point of view that my life was not of worthwhile. And in this moment, I was in relief of this guilt that I had. And I could hear the birds. And I was like, what is this? I was like, if I could live the rest of my life feeling like this is how I want to live my life. And I remember that day I had the best day ever. I was pumping music and I was living life, and I was ecstatic about life for that moment. But I have to tell you though that journey right there at that moment was just the starting stepping stone of my journey in gratitude. Because in that moment, I realized that I had been so focused on the continual victimization story for so long that finally, when I pulled out this paper and gave it my all to count my blessings, that I had a break. I finally had a break. And I realized how unbalanced my life was. So I made a decision that day that no matter what was happening, see, because why life was so hard was because in my life, I had, the table you sit on, the bed you sleep in, these terminologies that we use. And the table I sat on had all these things I had done, all these things, all these blamefuls. Oh my goodness, you did this and this and this, your parents, your family, and all these blame and all this stuff. And my determination when I got out of prison was to fix it all. I was going to fix it all. I was going to make it all right. And I couldn't. That's why I ended up homeless. I couldn't make it right. I couldn't fix everything. The past is already the past. You can't fix it. And so in that moment, in this realization, I knew that I had to let go of the idea of this bed that I had created for myself. And I had to go back on a journey and only pull the things I could be grateful for and hold on to that and put blinders on, because this world wants to throw trash in your face and they want to vomit their problems onto you. And I had to be the delusional optimist. And I have to tell you that it was a 2-year journey of up and down like a roller coaster. And during that 2 years, yes, I was able to get out of homelessness. I was able to spark a relationship with a girl that I was in for quite a while at that time. And I started to rebuild my life. And I could smile again. I wasn't homeless, but there was something drastically missing from my life. And I knew it, but I stayed content. I stayed really focused on only catching the goodness that was coming from me everywhere externally. And it had been about 3 years since I had been home for Christmas. And after this 2 years from that moment in my car, which was an up and down roller coaster, I have to tell you, it took strength. It took determination that I was going to be grateful for my life and that I was going to capture these things and stop. And I was going to start avoiding the things that irritated me and made me ungrateful, because so much are we reverse on exactly what I just said. So much are we so focused on all our problems, all our irritations, all the things that are happening to us every day that we ignore the gratitude. We ignore it. Oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it. How dare I? I couldn't believe this. But I knew that there was a missing key. I knew that there was something else that was out there. But I knew I had to stay on the journey of capturing my blessings. And after about 2 years, 24 months, I had myself together enough to go home and see my family. And I didn't know the true intentions of my family. I didn't know how they truly felt. I know that, for the longest time, I believed that my point of view on my family was that they were like, oh, we love my brother Levi because we're supposed to, he's my brother. but he's the troubled one. He's this, he's that, you know. It's like, oh, you know, oh, here comes Levi, you know, like, oh, like I was that guy. At least that's how I felt. And not just for my family, from the whole world, you know, the guy with the problems. And I felt like a burden, you know. And so after this 2 years, I was like, I have money in my pocket, I have presents to bring, and I'm dressed nicely, and I look sharp, and I can face my family now. You know, I've reached a point that I can face my family and smile at least. And so I drove from California all the way back to Utah. And I remember I was like filled with anxiety. I pulled up to my brother's car, my brother's house, and all my family was there. And everybody was there. I was a little bit late. And I went to the door, and I knocked on the door, and I heard, "Come in." I was like, oh, okay. So I opened the door and I walked in, and there was just like this stillness. And all of a sudden, the whole house went, "Levi!" And everybody erupted, and everybody was so happy to see me. And everybody was like, "Levi, Levi." And my little nieces and nephews, they came, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, Uncle Levi, we haven't seen you in so long. You look so good." He's like, my little niece, she was 13 at that time. No, she was probably like 11 at that time. And she's like, "Uncle, I have to show you. Last night we opened up presents." So they got to open up a present as a family the night before Christmas Eve. And it was a paint set, and everybody was painting. And they're like, "Uncle Levi," because they knew I'm an artist. And they're like, "We want to show you our paints." And so I'm like, okay. And I remember coming around the corner, I saw my little nephew there, and he had a little painter's hat on, and he had the little thing which he was doing all the paints, and he had this little picture. And I was like, "Oh man, an authentic painter right here." And she's like, "Uncle, come, I need to show you my painting." And she had this drawing on it. And in this drawing, I'm sorry, I gotta blow my nose.
Levi, you're getting so much passion and so much love in the chat. What you've been through is so amazing, and what you're shared step by step is exactly the process. It is not fast. It's not just that I'm going to change my life. It is a process, and sometimes we wrestle with ourselves, and sometimes what we're doing is we're changing that programming that we've had in our mind, and that we continue to keep alive in our mind. And that's what I hear you saying. So let's hear about your 13-year-old
Yes,
niece.
because this was the ultimate key, guys. And I am so grateful to be able to share this with you. And so as I came around the corner, and my 11-year-old niece was like, "Uncle, let me show you my picture." And I was like, "Yes, I need to see this." And I walked up, and she showed me a picture, and it was the typical picture that a child would draw. Like, it was the whole family, but kind of in stick figure form, from the littlest, from the cat to the dog, to all, from the little sisters all the way up to the big brother, to the mom, which is my sister-in-law, and then my brother, which was their dad, their house in the background, and then the mountains, and everything, every piece of it was in a different color. It was full of colors. And on the very top, she had wrote 4 words that were the missing key that I had been searching for this whole time. And do you guys know what those 4 words were? I love my life. She wrote the words, "I love my life." That was it. This whole time, as I was going along my journey, I was searching for the external things to come into my life, and they were the only things that I was going to take. But after doing that for so long, there was just one thing that I needed to do, and that was to love what I already had inside, to love all the little things that were happening in my life. That was it. I love my life. And from that moment on, I use it as a saying. It's something that I say every day as I write my gratitude journal every day. I started off, "I love my life. Thank you so much." And that has led me to a life that I have fallen in love with. I love my life. I have fallen in love with my life. I love the little aspects of my life, and I love the miracles that unfold when I keep myself in a state of gratitude, my whole life has changed. I've reconnected to my family. I travel the world. I inspire others to dream. And I share my gratitude story, like with my clients, with the people around me. And I can't even help it anymore. And I'm just really honored to be here. Thank you.
Levi, thank you so much. Wow. You know, I think Gary was expressing that statement, and so was Randy, you know, that they love their life and that they're blessed by their lives. And I know that not every part of our life is wonderful, but that's the Aditi Devo Bhawa that you're finding the gratitude in, that we, you know, we experience from the teachings and the principles of this book. I had a conversation with Levi this week, and just even some of the challenges that he was facing, he was always able to see the bright light and the possibility and the vision that would be coming from it. And I think the biggest key here is his passion. When he can feel what it's like to be successful or to be able to come through that hard time, he saw, at least this is from the story that I got from him, he saw the success of it. I mean, Levi, you're just such a living example of such great passion and childlike wonder that Dr. Naram talked about in this book.
Yes.
And Dr. Clint talks about all the time.
Yes, yes. And I know when I told Dr. Clint that story, he talked about how I invoked a powerful lesson from Dr. Naram. You know, there's a really good quantum scientist I follow. His name's Greg Braden. And he said a very specific saying that resonated with me. I just want to share it with you guys. And he said that the vibrational resonance, because every feeling, every modality has a vibrational resonance to it, that the vibrational resonance of gratitude is the precursor to miracles, The vibrational resonance of gratitude is a precursor to miracles. I love that.
So beautiful. It's really true. It is really true. And sometimes it's easier than other times to be
Yes.
able to get to that place.
Yes. Yes. Life is challenging.
Oh my gosh, it is. Levi, you have got so much love in the chat. People are just thanking you for your beautiful words, your passion, for your love, for your light. They want to be able to share what your passion. So I hope that you're able to read through those messages. They're so beautiful.
Yes. Thank you.
Awesome.
Guys.
Oh my
well,
gosh.
I love you and I'm with you guys. Thank you for this community.
Oh my gosh. Thank
you. Thank you, Levi. So grateful for you, brother. My love to you. And what a beautiful demonstration of radical transparency, radical authenticity, radical gratitude. You are such a model of that. And thank you, beloved, for sharing it, man.
Thank you.
Oh, I love it. Levi, we're gonna go ahead and go to Shifra, and just because of time, Shifra, are you ready to share your poem? Before we do that, I just have to say, Levi, I cannot tell you how many people can resonate with that story. You know, they just can. I mean, I know I can. You know, where there are times where the only way out that you could see would be to be ending it. But yet to know that if you end it, it will affect somebody else in such a drastic way, and you don't want to leave life that way, and so many other things too. And to be able to find that next step of being able to move forward into a positive direction. So, and you know, anyway, I just know that there are many of us that have experienced that in itself in our own unique way, and being able to see how you've pulled yourself out of it is just so incredibly beautiful. So thank you, Levi.
Thank you.
Shifra, can you explain to us what sparked you? Shifra's going to be reading a poem that she has written, a poem of love, Would you explain to us how you came about to this, Shifra?
Yes, I came about to writing this poem because I was deeply concerned with what was happening in Gaza and Israel and Palestine. And because I resonated deeply with, I've lived in that region, and oddly, as a child, I identified with Palestinians because my father, who was not able to take very good care of me, was telling me what good care Israel was doing for the Palestinians. But I came to write it, I would say, because I was touched, and because I was moved, and because I wanted to really thank Levi for what he shared, because I resonated with his story and the gratitude. And I think I wrote it because I have struggled so deeply with anger and um, violence that's happened to me, and anger about that. And I want very deeply. And I think this community has taught me a great deal about love. And it is still a challenge for me to allow love in, to let people be who they are. And I want to be more open to love, respectful of other people, and somehow end this in my own life, turn around in myself and in the world some of what's going on. And so I'm just going to and I ask us to intend in our hearts to turn around whatever is violent or warring, and to find the love that is buried underneath that. Because when Gary shared, it became clear to me that part of the reason I've had so much anger was because of how much love I had, that was at the heart of it, and to somehow bring forth that love. Okay. Stop the killing. Let the universal love song be sung. The ancient secret is love for everyone. I wish I could stop the killing. I wish I had the power to make myself, to make other people be willing to stop the killing and be the peace to shine that Christ light, that mother goddess being, that Muhammad unity, that mother Mary mercy, that tikkun olam, world repair vibration, that Krishna consciousness, that Buddha heart, to make love start, to make the peace start, to make the art and the heart start. Oh, may the heart of love and soul fill that place and all places, because what is happening ain't nothing but a disgrace. And I can't believe that any God worthy of the name wants this kind of shame and blame and pain. No, I am sorry, I say to the people of Gaza. Gaza, 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 Gaza. I am sorry my people have done this to you. This ain't no way to be a Jew. There's got to be a way to break through to a love that embraces all of life. I want to be the wife of life and the husband of dance. I want to take a chance and romance the whole world. Love's banner to unfurl. I'd like to see the bombing in Gaza stop. And I don't want any people to go pop. I want to see all the hostages safe, happy, healthy, free. I want the rockets to stop. I'd like to see from that bloody ground arise a beautiful flower of such power. And that flower has the power to shine love on everyone, every daughter or son, every in between. So can grow the dream of a unity between Palestinian and Jew, you and me, Muslim, Christian, Jew, Buddhist, Shinto, indigenous, Hindu, atheist, Baha'i, a lullaby, pagan, Wiccan, nothing to sicken, only healing, to grow and grow and grow exponentially, and love to sow and sow until the heart of God fills the entire earth and universe, and a universal song of love is sung for everyone. Every daughter, every son, every being. We all have new hearing, new smelling, touching, tasting, intuiting, seeing, being, freeing. All the people to rise up not with nationalism, but with something so yum, being all part of the same human family, like the rock, the bird, the fish, the animal, the bumblebee, the tree, you and me. We. The ancient secret is love, you see. The ancient secret is I love you and I am with you and me. Gaza, I kiss you. Israel, I kiss you. Palestine, I kiss you. I don't want to diss you. I just want to hold you in my heart until somehow love, peace, shalom, salam, ahava, shalom, salam, paz starts and never, ever departs, starting in my heart and flowing to yours like a river of peace, nahar shalom. I don't know how to say river in Arabic, but what is happening is enough to make us sick. And I want us all to be well. This poem is a well to drink from, a new thought to think from, a new art to heart with, a bad way to depart from, and enter into something so yum, a peace and a love, a peace and a love, and a healing that conquers everyone. Under the sun, all across this earth, may everyone without exception know our worth. May there be a rebirth of this earth, a rebirth of the cosmos of all. The universe is sung on God's tongue forever young. May a love song be sung forever young and keep all the world forever young on God's tongue. May a love and peace and healing song be sung. May a love and peace and healing song be sung. May love and healing, peace and transformation song be sung, starting in Gaza, going to Palestine and Israel, and embracing and enveloping everyone. Thank you.
Shipra. That's amazing. So powerful. So thought-provoking. Yeah, you could feel the struggle inside of the poem. Just like even the struggle inside of Levi's story, even the struggle inside of Gary's story, and even the struggle inside of Randy's story that we've heard today. And that's part of it. It's the Aditi Devo Bhava that we have. And when we are grateful for that Aditi Devo Bhava, and we find the love that exists, things turn around. It's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Shivra. Robin, did you have something you wanted to share? Robin Lee.
Yes. So I thought of this specifically when I found out that Shipra was going to be reading her poem. I thought it would be an empowering thing for us to be able to do this. It's a movement that started in Netherlands, and I got forwarded this email about this movement to do essentially become peace and be a blessing of peace for the world every time you drink water. And so I'm just going to read this. The world is at peace and I am peace. That's what you're going to put into your water. In peace through water, keep spreading the word. I know it works. Everyone who wants to join in is welcome. I ask that you share this idea in the way that John Lennon's beautiful song, Imagine, inspired millions. We are doing the same. We are flooding social networks all over the planet, also reaching every little corner of the world with this movement to drink the water and feed the peace. How does it work? The basic idea of the Drink Water and Feed Peace campaign is for each of us at the moment we drink water, every moment, to internalize the following phrase: the world is at peace and I am peace. Without effort, millions of people will repeat, pray, or mentalize the phrase: the world is at peace and I am peace. Let us form a stream of high frequency vibrations in favor of peace. The power of prayer will multiply every single time someone joins the movement. According to quantum physics, the systematic repetition of thoughts, music, and words creates favorable conditions to facilitate the achievement of mentalization goals. If this message touches your heart, thank you for your commitment to making the world a place of peace. And John Vader in Holzen, Netherlands, is the person who did this.
So Robin, so let me make sure that I understand. So when we drink water, we're supposed to say, the world is at peace, I am peace.
The world is at peace and I am peace.
That's really a great thing to do, because it's just putting that out into the world. The world is at peace and I'm at peace. The world is at peace and I'm at peace. The world is at peace and I'm at peace. That's wonderful.
And when, Gary's, what he mentioned, that his greatest currency, his internal peace, if I remember correctly, is his greatest currency. When we come from peace, then there's, that's the frequency that we're emanating. And it makes it easier for everyone around us to also be at peace.
It is so true. It's so beautiful. Thank you, Robin, for sharing that with us. Belle, go ahead, and I would like to hear from Belle.
I just wanted to invite that we slow down the I am. So I am is very powerful. It's the world is at peace and I am peace. And it's just an ownership of who we really are. And that then powerfully radiates out into the world. That's all.
It's so beautiful. That's the one thing that I really noticed when I was in Hawaii and we were working with the people of Lahaina. And Pamela kept saying, be slow with your movements, and when we were doing the marma, the slow was so powerful. Matter of fact, let's do the marma right now. Let's do the forgive and let go marma. So put your thumb on your right thumb on your hand, find that tender spot in the fleshy part of your thumb, in between your thumb and your pointer finger, and press 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And just keep doing that while we're on the call. Just keep doing that. Just instill so much peace as we let go. And Shifra said it so beautifully when she invoked that prayer, being able to let go of those things that we don't need any longer. So beautiful. And Levi, he found a way to be able to let go of all those things that were not serving him anymore. And sometimes the slowness of it brings the reverence. It brings you more to the present moment. It truly does. It's beautiful. Wonderful. Does anybody have anything that they would like to share? Any gratitude? And before we do, I would love to just rub our hands together and send blasts of love to Levi and to Shifra. Thank you so much. Even to Robin and to Belle. Thank you so much. So appreciate the profound wisdom that you bring. Thank you. This community is so amazing. Is there anything that anybody? Yes, Luke.
Well, I'm pretty blown away this morning, like everybody here, with Levi's passionate story. And Levi, I was so fortunate and happy to spend time with you in Sedona. And when we did that exercise of gazing into each other's eyes, and you and I were partnered up at one moment, so I still remember you from that. And Schiffer's poem, so beautiful. Schiffer's passion about peace on earth. I'm just blown away by all this. And, you know, in terms of, so Levi, you inspired me to keep a gratitude journal again. I wasn't doing it, but I just started just this morning, as you said it. I pulled out this Ancient Secrets book that we received, and I turned this into my gratitude journal, and I started putting in there all the things I'm grateful for. So, and I'm, as you people know, I go into the streets and I help the homeless every week with food, water, cash, clothing, blankets, and communication, talking with them. And my heart goes out to the people that are homeless, because every day is a fight for survival. I mean, just imagine, you know, we have a pretty nice life, even with our challenges. Imagine what it's like for them and what you went through, Levi. But the people that I communicate with, some of them have been out on the streets for decades. And what I'm grateful for when I spend time with them is the life that I have. But love has guided me to help them since 2 years ago, because I had to. I was compelled to, and I still am. I go out to the streets where they hang out and I help them. So when you go out into the streets, if you see a homeless person, let your heart go out to them, but also be grateful that you're not living on the streets. That's a huge thing to be grateful for, that you have the life, that we have the life that we have. And just send love to even if you don't want to speak to a homeless person, even if you are a little nervous about it, at least send love to that person, if nothing more than that. And if you feel like giving them something, that would be great. But anyway, we do have so much to be grateful for. And thank you, Levi, for inspiring me to remember to be grateful, because sometimes we take life for granted. I know I do. And so I'm inspired now to really be grateful and keep a journal again. So I love this community so much. I love you all. And one of the biggest things I'm grateful for is this community, as I'm sure we all are. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. I have to say that, you know, there are times where I see somebody who's homeless and my mind goes into judgment, or my mind goes into having a hard time to even be grateful for what I have, because I'm caught in that victim story that Levi had talked about. And I loved how Levi expressed how hard it was, to be able to be grateful, that he found the words, but he had a hard time letting go of those emotions, letting go of those feelings of, because a lot of times we feel like if we hold on to that victim story, if we hold on to the negative, that we're going to be able to find a way out. But you know what it was that Albert Einstein said, you know, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, that's the same as insanity. I don't remember but it's just, you've got to change the way that you're coming from in order to be able to connect with the change. You have to. Anyway, Levi, did you have, and Belle, go ahead. But Levi, did you have a compelling question you wanted to ask in the breakout rooms? And Belle, go ahead and share.
Oh, yeah, I think that the compelling question should be, what did you learn on today's call?
What did love teach you?
What did love teach you on today's call? There we go.
I love it. Belle, what were you going to say?
So I was just going to say, and I put it in the chat, and Levi, you may or may not have seen it, but honestly, your story needs to get out on YouTube as a story that we can share with others. We have a very expanding homeless population in Ashland, Oregon, really all over. I'm sure every one of us can say that. And it's so inspiring, and really the passion and the possibility of letting really gratefulness guide, you know, which would be like letting love guide. So just really invite anybody who can support Levi in getting that up and out, available to us to share with the world. It needs you right now. We need you right now. So thank you.
Wow. It's pretty powerful, Levi. What do you think?
Yes, I agree with you. Yes, you know, I for the longest time I wanted to make sure I worked on myself before I like started sharing my light to the world, but that's not really how it works. You know, you kind of heal. The journey is the healing process. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One starfish at a time, Levi. That wonderful story, just throwing it back into the water, one starfish at a time. And, you know, you know, and I think many of us on this call would agree that there's people, I have a whole neighborhood that is trying to figure out who they can be in the matter of unhoused. And it just, you know, this is really an important message that you have.
Well, I think it comes back to the message of this community where we want to belong. And I think that Levi was wanting to belong, and that's the reason why he joined a gang. I mean, and he wanted to belong to his family, and that's what brought him back home. He wants to belong. And, you know, it's such powerful messages that Dr. Clint always expresses, that we belong, we belong. And so, you know, I don't know, you know, sometimes when we're in those places where we feel like we belong, but we don't like what's happening, it is so difficult to pull ourselves out of that community or that connection and to move on. And sometimes we're standing there by ourselves and not knowing that next step. And so the gratitude and the connection with, you know, your creator, your, you know, the divine, whatever you want to call it, is really a big place. Anyway, because of time, are you okay, Shifra and Nehemiah, if we go into a breakout room? You okay with that? Okay, great. Let's go ahead. Yes. Let's go ahead and rub our hands together and say, I love you and I'm with you. Take ourselves off mute. I love you and I'm with you.
I love you.
I love you.
Love you and I'm with you.
And I'm with
I
you.
love you and I'm with
Love
you.
you, Levi.
I'm with you.
Love you,
Love you and I'm
I
with
love you
you.
and I'm with you.
and I'm
I
with you.
love you. I love you and I'm with you.
And I'm with you.
Thank you,
I
babe.
love you and I'm
I
with
love you,
you.
and I am
Love
with
you
you.
and I'm with you.
I love it. The breakout rooms are open. Go ahead and join the breakout rooms. Did they work? They don't look like they worked. Hold on just a second. Let me
not
close
yet.
them out. Okay,
Sure, it's
great.
coming along.
Okay, so I'm gonna move her out. We're gonna close all rooms. And I'm gonna recreate this. I'm getting better at this.
Doing great.
Gina, you are brave.
Thank you. Okay, I see what I did wrong. Okay, let me close all rooms. Okay, and sign on. Recreate. Okay, great. The breakout rooms are open. There we go. I love you and I'm with you. Oh, thank you guys so much for being here today. What a powerful call. So appreciate you all.